All right, guys. So tonight's topic is going to be about concentration. We all have different goals. We have ambition. We have things that we really want to execute and that we want to achieve in life. But I was listening to something not so long ago, and I realized a lot of people do have a desire for greatness. They have a desire to be better than where they are today. But what they have to increase their awareness to understand that they have to have concentration. All right. So what is concentration? It's the act. It is the power of focusing on your attention or your mental effort on a task, right? Concentration, concentration, concentration. Now, the action means something that's being done, something that's being performed. And then it also says you have the power to get something done. Power means if you're capable of doing or accomplishing something, right? Concentration is the number one currency. All right. Just drop some money bags in the chat box. All right. Dollar signs, anything where you can find relative to currency, credit cards. Concentration is the number one currency. Think of it as you have to be highly skillful, right? If you think about people in their industries, if we take Michael Jordan, if we take Steph Curry or Serena Williams or Michael Jackson, if you think of all these people, you think of yourself, are you that person when certain names come to mind, you know they're dominating their certain industry, that skill set, that goal, that dream, they're dominating that platform, right? And so when I think about somebody that can host a show, I can think of Steve Harvey. When I think about the Oprah Winfrey's, or you got so many beautiful people around this world that have begun to dominate certain industries, also only from faith and concentration, right? Faith and works. But you want to be able to make sure that you begin to have a dominance in whatever it is that you want to achieve. Dominance means to be stronger, the leading element, the force, towering over, overcoming so many areas, so many things. Right now, because I live in a spiritual plane, there is no such thing as competition. I only believe in the power to create, right? If you go down the bread aisle, if you watch television, if you look at cell phones, if you look at so many industries, there's multiple people that are in that industry, right? So there is no such thing as competition. There's only a such thing as creating, because there is an unlimited supply of everything that's headed towards you. All right. If you believe that there's an unlimited supply, no matter how much money is in the world, that it could always be created for you, drop some ones in the chat box, right? When you find someone who knows how to concentrate, right? I'm known for concentrating. I'm known to have the ability to focus. When I want to get something done, I execute. I don't play no games, right? You have to have, when you find people that have that ability to concentrate, you'll find that they always have movement, they have progression, right? Y'all ever kind of just witnessed and watch people, and they just always seem to kind of either they'll pop up out the blue like they've got something else done, or they're just always moving forward. And they may be you. It's always some type of evidence to show that that progression is happening in their life, but there's no progression without concentration. When you see these people who have this ability to concentrate, a lot of times people either don't want to compete with them. And remember, I don't want to use competition in a negative, a destructive way, but in a constructive way. You don't really want to put yourself in that same box, or maybe you don't even feel like you feel in that same box as them or that same plane, because sometimes you can see what a level of commitment is required when you're trying to achieve certain goals. So when I tell people, when I'm mentoring people about teaching them, trading or whatever it is I'm mentoring them about, I ask them to do certain tasks for a certain amount of days, for a certain amount of time, for a little time. And then that amount of commitment, right? Commitment and concentration can seem a little bit overwhelming or intimidating at times, because you know what's required of you, right? Maybe that maybe require you get up a little earlier so you can go to the gym. Maybe that means you eating in portions, or just start to make modifications, because where you want to go is going to happen if you make certain modifications, if you have certain concentration. So if I tell you to do certain things and maybe it makes you feel a little, again, uneasy, or you're like, man, I don't really know if I'm ready for that level of commitment, then of course, off the rip, you probably won't receive your goal and have that same, you won't be able to put yourself on the same plane as me as far as effort or that person, because you don't have the same commitment nor the same level of concentration. So you'll notice that in today's time, it seems a little bit more intimidating, or people may be a little lazy, or they're not willing to make that sacrifice. But what if you could concentrate, right? What would your life look like if you concentrated more, right? What if you were concentrating so much every single day, and you begin to just, your desire is just on fire and everything is flowing and you're getting every single thing done. You're just hungry and you're just literally being able to get so many tasks done. Do you guys believe that your life would be much more different if you were concentrating more? Yes or no in the chat box. So you believe you get more done, you'll be further along right now if you would just concentrate, all right? Concentration is a big deal. So, and especially in the time that we live in right now, where everyone is, we like to use the word distracted, but I don't believe in distractions, guys. I believe whatever you pay attention to is just, that's what has your attention, right? There are two reasons people don't concentrate. Okay, there are two reasons people don't concentrate. The first reason is honestly, people simply weren't taught how to concentrate. They weren't taught how to think. All right. The second reason is people are not practicing how to concentrate. All right. So it's two reasons people don't concentrate. They weren't taught how to concentrate and they're not practicing how to concentrate. All right. So when you don't practice concentration, which I also believe is that's just not you knowing that, Earl Nightingale has the stranger secret, which he teaches that people don't think, right? I believe that goes, that ties with not practicing, right? Or you just weren't taught. People don't think, right? You don't even know that you have this ability to think. There's a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. So, but how do you learn how to concentrate? Well, let's look at it this. It's 24 hours in a day. If you take 10 to 18 hours a day, let's take out 8 for work, right? For some of us that have 9 to 5s. And so you have at least another 5 to 6 hours remaining in your day. And even if you take 2 of those hours, and of course you're sleeping, maybe you sleep less, maybe you sleep more. But if you take 10 to 18 hours a day, and 6 days a week, and you practice whatever it is that you want to practice on, and you just focus on it, do you believe that you'll excel? Do you believe that you'll progress? Do you believe that you'll grow? Do you believe that you'll become smarter if you're taking an extra hour a day to read, studying words, studying information? Don't you believe that progression will happen because you decided to have more concentration, right? Prioritizing your time. Let's say you want to become the next NBA player. Let's just use the NBA player, right? Musician, engineer. It's so many industries around this world, guys. But let's say you want to go play for the Warriors or the Lakers, and you have the same ability as them. You can dribble, you can shoot, right? You can pass the ball. But what made Kobe Bryant so different from other people? He put more effort in. I was just watching the show. I was at my boy Moody house yesterday in St. Louis, and we watched this movie on Netflix called The Redeem Team. And basically the USA dominated the men's basketball Olympics for every consecutive year almost. Then they started losing like 3 years in a row where they brought in, LeBron had just got recruited. What's his name? Dwayne Wade. It was a couple of people. They were rookies, right? And rookies that just got plugged in. But Kobe was the most dominating player in the game, and he was going through some trial times in his career. And anyway, he ended up signing up with the team. He wanted to be a part of the team, to start building his rapport, get people to trust him again. And they said one day, they all wanted to go out one night. They wanted to go to the club, and they got back from the club at 3-something in the morning, and Kobe Bryant was on the way to the gym. He was on the way downstairs to practice, and they was like, Kobe, ain't no way right now at 3:30 in the morning he's gonna go downstairs and practice. Well, he was going to do weightlifting for an hour, then he would go to the gym. And he was already drenched though. And so, but they said that shifted their concentration. Y'all see what I'm saying? See, you consider, when I tell you guys, when you think about certain people in their industry and what sacrifice they're making, the time that they're putting in, well, you're either going to match that effort or you're going to stay where you want. Because if you want greater, if you want to have this certain level of success, you got to duplicate what the greats are doing, right? So what do? Next thing you know, the entire dreams, everybody started to get up at 3:30 in the morning. They're starting to start doing the same routine as Kobe because he set the standard. Why is he the best person in the industry? Because he had better concentration, right? He had better concentration. Remember, these are the top basketball players in the league. They all can dribble, they all can shoot. But there was still an alpha because he showed them there's still another level of success. Somebody dropped, there's always another level. Y'all just dropped new levels in the chat. So what if you coming out of high school or coming out of college and you're dribbling right now, you're shooting your free throws, and you have these same abilities as everybody else in the NBA. And then you say, you know what, I think I'm gonna start pursuing to have a professional career. And then now you start practicing for 3 months. After 3 months of practice, does that qualify you to be in the NBA? Yes or no in the chat box? Compared to the Kobe's and the LeBrons that's been doing this thing since they were 2 years old. Here you come, 3 months, you just decide to pick up a basketball and start dribbling stuff. Do you believe you're qualified to be in the NBA? Should they be paying you a $100 million contract? Absolutely not, right? But then let's say it's 6 months down the road. You're better, you're improving, you're dribbling, you've been concentrating every day, you've been hitting the gym, you've been hitting the courts. Do you still believe you are qualified to be in the NBA yet? All right? Do you deserve a $100 million contract because you decide to pick up basketball one day and 6 months later, just because you've been consistent, do you feel it's your turn? It's your time to be in the NBA? Yes or no? I need y'all to reply. Talk to me in the chat box. All right? So the key to that is to understand, no, you're not going to be in the NBA, but you'll be better. All right? You'll be better. Somebody drop better. Who wants to be better? All from what? Concentration. All because they had a strong desire. They had an end in mind. They had a goal, right? And another key factor in that conversation, guys, is that we know that we won't qualify in 6 months, not even a year. You got 18 to 22 years worth of talent, worth of consistency, worth of workouts and skill set that these people have been doing. And you've been doing it for 2 years straight. No, they still got 8 times more training and exercise than you do. So the question is, how much time will it really take for you to get to an NBA level? Does anybody have an idea? Do we know or do we not know? How much time, if you pick up the ball today, how many years, how much time would it really take for you to get to a pro level? Is there really an answer? Yes or no in the chat box. Is there really an answer? Is there really a measurement of time that we can say, I know I'm going to be pro in 5 years. I know I'll be pro level in 6 years. We don't know, right? So I want y'all to never forget that analogy. I never want you to forget that story, because whatever you pursuing, you don't know. You don't know how much time it's going to take. But if it's important to you, that's right. It's not even degrees, right? They measure that stuff, but at the end of the day, that's just a piece of paper. It's not until you even get into the field where you can really say, okay, I really want to do this. I'm really qualified to do this. It still takes years of experience after the paper, after the books. You got to be in the field, right? You got to be out there. You got to be in it. Even as an entrepreneur, people go to school for business. People go to school for business management. Okay, cool. They can teach you through the books. These are teachers, and no shade to any teachers, but most of the time they haven't even had a business. They're not going to tell you how to speak to a staff member when they're cussing you out. They're not going to show you how to discipline people who are late. They're not going to show you the permits and the licensing and the zoning. That stuff you're not really taught. But it's experiences that you're going to go through. So it takes experience for you to what? To continue to grow and progress towards that goal. And that's where you start to see elevation in what it is that you're doing. So now you have this level of concentration on being this player, whatever field it may be. You may be want to be a musician, an engineer. You want to be a painter, a singer. You want to be a e-commerce. It doesn't matter, guys. It's concentration, and you don't know how much time it takes. And if you can figure this out, if you can figure out how to eliminate time in your goals, you'll reach any goal. Because goals is about consistency. It's about concentration, right? I started learning how to trade. I'm a day trader. I started learning how to trade in August of 2017. I got serious October of 2017. Guess what? I am phasing up to a 7-figure portfolio. I'm building an academy, and I just cleared my first over 5 figures, sending signals to some subscribers. I hadn't even really promoted it yet. I just been doing what we call phasing phases, right? Why? Because I've been concentrating for 5 years. Now the academy is an assignment from God, because I'm like, this is a challenge for me to build this thing. But guess what? This is what I'm doing next. Right behind me, it's a room right here, and y'all can't see all my stuff. I don't know if you can see it, but this is music equipment. It's all blurry. I got all my music equipment. I got my speakers I just received yesterday. By the door, right? Guess what I'm going to concentrate now on? Reading music, reading sheet music. That's my goal. My goal is to know how to read sheet music. I can play by ear. I can sing, produce. I want to be a fluent pianist, composer. Excuse me. I am a fluent piano composer, right? You got to speak it as it is. So I'm going to take that same amount of concentration I've been doing in this field, but I'm going to redirect my focus into something I'm passionate about. So what do y'all think is going to happen? right? How long is it gonna take me to read sheet music? How long is it gonna take me to be the best musician for myself, the pianist? I don't believe in competition. I believe in creation, right? So what do you have that you wrote down? What do you have that's been on your mind that you're not giving concentration to? Your passion, your purpose, right? Your profession, right? Your passion, your purpose, and your profession. My profession, I'm a day trader. My passion is music. Profession, day trader. Passion is music. Purpose is impact and leadership. All right, showing people that leading people back to Jesus, to Christ. That's my purpose. All right, so passion, purpose, and profession. Know the difference. Okay, so but what people need to understand is how much time there is no such thing as time when you want to achieve something. You just go until, all right, you just go until. And then mastery comes over time. Mastery comes over experience and progression. Okay, so people need to be taught and they need to practice. So one thing I have to make sure people understand as well is your phone is not a distraction. Distractions, I feel like if you use the word distraction, that means you don't have any control over your thinking. You don't have any control over your awareness of what you're giving consciousness, what your consciousness is paying attention to. So your phone and whatever other thing that you may call a distraction is not a distraction if you are in charge. But if you're not in charge, then yeah, you're a master to it. I mean, you're a slave to it. Okay. To develop the ability of concentration, you have to train your mind. Most people believe that concentration is exhausting, or it's effort, or it's stressful, or it's tension, right? It's difficult, it's unpleasant. But what are some things that, you got to give concentration to a relationship? You got to give concentration when you're doing with a job. You got to give concentration to these goals, and everything requires concentration. Now, I may not concentrate in watching a movie versus concentration watching a commercial. It's a different length of time, but it still requires your attention, right? So a lot of times people believe in concentration makes it feel like it's something that's exhausting. And a lot of times that came from an early age, because y'all know when we used to do homework and stuff like that, your parents be like, sit down and concentrate, sit down and focus. And a lot of times you might get a little whipping for it, or you get some type of punishment. So what happens is concentration started to be tied with a little bit of punishment, or it came with some type of disciplinary action, right? So as we begin to grow from a child to adulthood, next thing we know, we're like, bro, you subconsciously don't realize that you now tied paying attention and focus to something that you don't like. You kind of like, oh, I don't really want to sit down and do that, right? Studying and stuff like that, right? And so you will learn to associate concentration, all right? You'll learn to associate concentration with lack of freedom, or doing something that you really don't want to do. Okay. But we got to make sure that concentration has a positive notation on it. A lot of times, like I said, when you actually observe people, you'll notice that even in adulthood, that it's hard for people to concentrate, right? Their mind begins to wander. They be like, my ADD, we say it jokingly, but it's a real thing. A lot of people deal with concentration issues. And so, but you might be aware that concentrating is important, right? We know if we focus, we'll get stuff done. You may be aware of that, but subconsciously, depending on how you have depending on what you're relating concentration to, you may subconsciously be pulling away from it. You may be shying away from it, right? So there may be, let's take work, right? There may be certain tasks you do at your job or your career, your profession, and certain tasks, all tasks require concentration, right? But there may be certain tasks that you do that you don't want to concentrate on. Does that make sense, family? Right? Everything we do requires concentration, but you cannot connect something that you don't want to do to concentration. It's not the same thing. Concentration doesn't have a negative notation on it. It's the task at hand that you probably ain't really trying to do, right? So you feel like you got to will yourself to do certain things. So most people will admit that concentration and being focused is a great asset. They'll get every single thing that they want. Their life will change. They'll have a lifestyle leap. Everything will change. But most people don't know how to strengthen it. They don't practice it because either they don't know how or they lack the motivation to do so, right? So developing concentration, you gotta create a fun approach to it, all right? A right attitude, a right perspective, a positive attitude, optimistic, and understanding the great possibilities. Now, to understand concentration is to understand how your mind works, the power of your subconscious mind and the compound effect. Well, how does my mind work? Well, first thing is this, you got to learn how to control your mind. So everybody is breathing, right? But you're not consciously breathing anymore. You're subconsciously breathing. Well, what's the difference? you're not even focused on your breathing until you're not breathing. So maybe somebody starts drowning, maybe you losing air, maybe your tonsils are swollen, I don't know. You have a stuffy nose. The awareness of your breathing heightens because you got to pay attention to it. Does that make sense, guys? Yes or no in the chat box. We're subconsciously breathing. I don't sit here and think about breathing. I don't make myself breathe. My body is just automatically doing it, right? But it's when I get a stuffy nose or a sinus infection and I start like, man, I wish I could breathe. Now paying attention to it, right? Or take you driving. Some people, at this point, driving for most of us is subconscious. You don't think about turning the switch on, just get in there and do it. You're just moving with the flow. You hit the gas, you hit the brake. But it's not until you start experiencing some level of danger that you become aware, oh shoot, I need to pay attention, I need to do this. Or maybe you were eating and driving, or maybe you got on the phone or something and you were driving and you almost hit somebody, almost hit the curb. And you're like, okay, let me pay attention. Y'all been there before? You're subconsciously driving because you're just used to doing it, but you start paying attention to other things. You're focusing on something else, which causes you to almost have an accident. And then you're like, oh, let me pay attention now, right? That's now a conscious awareness that I'm driving, right? Before it was subconscious, but when you almost swerve and hit the curb, oh, let me pay attention. Let me not get in trouble. So I want you guys to understand that the two different angles of your mind. There's a conscious mind, there's a subconscious mind. All right. So your mind, remember, you have to learn how to control it on a conscious level and a subconscious level. Your mind doesn't wonder. It's your awareness that's wondering. Okay. Your mind doesn't wonder. It's your awareness that's wondering. Okay. Now, what is awareness? Awareness is having knowledge, or just the consciousness that I just spoke of, where I'm aware that I'm breathing, but I pay attention to it. I'm aware of it when I have a stuffy nose, or I'm driving down the road and I become aware that, oh, okay, let me pay attention to driving because now I'm conscious. I need to pay a conscious effort. I'm really literally thinking about this. Okay. Concentration is keeping awareness. Concentration is keeping awareness for an extended period of time. Okay. Concentration is keeping awareness for an extended period of time. For instance, when we go to the movies, the movie theaters are open again, whether you're watching something online at home or whether you went to the movies, guess what? They strategically make movies to what? Hold your awareness for an extended period of time. Yes or no? They got the movie. They got the music. They got the action. It creates this emotional connection. So your awareness is focused on this movie. You're not thinking about nothing else. Yes or no in the chat box, right? So these movies have figured out how to hold people's attention for an extended period of time. I just watched Black Adam and that blew my mind. That movie is phenomenal. They had me the whole time, 2 hours straight. And then when it was done, I consciously, okay, I'm in the movie theater. It's time for me to go home, right? So if you don't concentrate, if you don't know how to concentrate, you can't teach kids how to concentrate. You can't teach nobody else how to concentrate. But what are the benefits? The benefits are limitless. Again, how many of y'all know y'all would be at a whole nother level if you would just focus and concentrate some more? Yes or no in the chat box. All right, what's some things we know for sure that we would achieve right now if we would just freaking concentrate, right? So check this out. Well, what are some benefits? They are limited. First of all, it teaches you initiative. You begin to take more action. You don't need nobody to tell you nothing. You start being more hungry, start desiring more things. You start being more of an executioner. You start getting things accomplished. Well, what if I concentrate on my health, B. Burrell? Wow. Well, if you concentrate on your health, you'll be what? More healthy, right? You'll lose weight. You'll have better eating. You'll have better peace of mind. You'll be more conscious of what you're putting in your body. If I concentrate on my health, well, what does that mean, concentrate? Maybe I start studying information. Maybe I start reading up on different health and fitness magazines and blogs and stuff like that. Maybe I get a physical trainer or a personal trainer or a personal chef. Because I am conscious, right? Conscious thinking is now I'm making more intentional decisions. Subconscious, I don't think about it no more. I don't have to act. I'm not actively thinking on it. But conscious effort means I am actively thinking on something. So maybe I make a conscious effort to say, you know what? I'm gonna start hitting the gym just 15 minutes in the morning. Let me work my way into it. That's a conscious effort. I gotta get up and make a decision. I'm gonna go to this gym. And then I do it for 21 days. And then I do it for 42 days. And then I do it for 63 days. Well, at day 63, y'all think I'm still trying to make myself go to the gym? Yes or no? Or is it now subconscious? I just go without thinking about it. All right. SUB for subconscious. all right, or SCON for conscious. It's no longer a conscious effort, guys. It's a subconscious effort, right? So why? I had to concentrate every day to get up and say, I'm going to do 15 minutes of the gym, right? So I want you guys to be mindful. What do you want to concentrate on? Somebody drop in the chat about something you want to concentrate on. I will put the gym, because sometimes I get into subconscious mind and I'll take a trip and then start all over again. So I'm gonna keep my exercise life. I do pretty good, but I just want to be better. So I'm gonna put my exercise. I want my exercise to stay subconscious. All right, because I'll be doing great. It's subconscious. Then I take a trip and travel and and then I'll be tripping. Right. All right. So what's something else? So I saw something in the chat. Draw something y'all want to just concentrate on, that it goes from concentration to subconscious activity. Passing the state exam. Well, that's going to be conscious effort. I guess after the exam and remembering what's on the exam. So we're going to say, but I did say what y'all want to concentrate on. Somebody said getting out this job, trading, and passing the state exam. Consider it done. Now, my question for you is, what are you allowing your awareness to pay attention to? There is no such thing as distraction, y'all. I want y'all to remember that. It's only what you're paying attention to. Your awareness. What is grabbing your awareness? So let's pretend we all studying the state exam with Miss Jessica. Some of us may be locked in and we just studying for hours straight, 2 hours straight. And then there's another version of us where somebody is studying for 5 minutes and then they hit their Instagram account. Then they go back to studying for 10 minutes and they check the email. Then they go back to studying for 10 minutes and they go open the refrigerator. Your concentration ain't there. You got to make a choice. Where do you want it to be? It's a conscious effort. You're making yourself like, oh, right? So it's a conscious, I'm gonna be very transparent. Me building out this business academy is a conscious effort. Okay. That thing, it takes some serious concentration. So I isolate myself in a co-working space. So I get into environments where the vibration and the energy is concentration, and it becomes less of an effort on my end, right? So concentration. What else somebody put? Somebody said, getting out of this job. Well, I would say that was simple. That's updating a resume, right? And then you just look for another job, right? You look for a different career, okay? Trading, that's everything is really managing your productivity. What does your schedule look like? And I'll go over that at the end of the call. But what are the benefits of concentration? Health, peace of mind, progression. It builds your confidence. Don't y'all feel good when y'all get stuff done? It ain't got to be nothing huge. Just making the bed every morning to come on. Like me, my thing is I got to have my bed got to be made every day. My house got to be clean. I got to walk into a clean house. That makes me feel so good, right? What makes me feel even better when I go to the gym in the morning and then I leave the gym and I do my personal development and I do I run my signals business, and it makes me feel so confident and so good. Like I be in my best version of myself when I'm doing those things. So what is that best version of you, right? Concentration creates confidence. Concentration helps your organizational skills, your execution, your relationships, your success. Concentrating creates growth. It creates better memory, better relationships. You become better than most people, right? Because I believe most people don't concentrate. What y'all think? Yes, no in the chat box. Most people concentrate or most people don't concentrate? I think most of us love the word distraction more than we love focusing and concentration. Concentration assists in your studying. It allows for faster comprehension, improves your memory. It helps you focus on the task at hand, the job, the goal. It allows you to ignore meaninglessness, all right, and irrelevant thoughts. Mindlessly scrolling, right? Without concentration, then your mind just keep jumping from one thought to the other, and you're not allowing yourself to properly develop and properly concentrate on the task at hand, will also affect your inner peace of mind. Okay. Now, life is a manifestation of where your energy is flowing. I'm going to say that again. Life is a manifestation of where your energy is flowing, where your concentration is flowing. What you focus on expands. So if you want things to manifest in your life, if you want to bring God, if you want to bring his blessings toward you, then you got to make sure your attention is towards it. Okay. You're just a magnetic force. It's so simple. For instance, I want to learn more about credit. I started studying credit beginning of 2021. I got obsessed with it. I was on you. I talked to my sister. I talked to my other mentor. I did exactly what they said to do. And then in addition to that, my partner, she told me what to do. In addition to that, guess what? I got on Google, I got on YouTube, I started looking up more information, and I realized it's just the same thing repeated over and over again. So I concentrated on my score. I was a 575 February 2021. Now my scores have been over 700 credit scores since December of last year. Right. So I concentrate on it. Guess what? Because I concentrated on it, it manifested. I brought it closer to me. All right. Expansion happened. All right. Now I also was able to go from my personal business scores to focus on my business credit. Got some business credit cards now. So guess what? That's what I concentrated on. That's what happened. I concentrated on trading endlessly, timelessly. That trading is so subconscious to me. Now trading is no longer an effort for me. It hasn't been since 2019. It hasn't been an effort in quite some time. That's subconscious to me. Playing the drums. I'm a musician. I can go to church, sleep. I can get 1 hour sleep and go sit on the drums and play the drums and sleep and play. Why? Because it's subconscious now. It's not a conscious effort. Now we have to regulate our habits, do things that will shift our concentration, right? Y'all drop in the chat box, what's something subconscious for you, right? You could be like driving, brush your teeth. Mine is music, trading, how I love on people. All this stuff is subconscious for me, right? I don't make myself do it. I don't have to force myself to do it. I don't have to resist it. It just comes naturally, right? One thing we have to start doing is make sure we regulate our habits. So some things that we can start doing is getting up at the same time every morning. That's something I get up at the same time every morning, but I want to get up earlier. So that's something I'm working on. I want to be in the zone at 7 a.m. I want to be in my gratitude journal at 7. I want to be 7 to 9 a.m. That's my self-care moment, right? So we got to schedule our time. All right. I'm almost done, by the way. Schedule our time in developing a plan and being very, very intentional. Okay. Be very intentional about executing. So for me, my personal goal, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. I do my gratitude journal. I write in my journal what I'm grateful for every single day. Then I do I read all my goals and everything that I want to achieve, my statements of faith. It takes about 15 minutes. Then I read 3 pages of Bible. That takes about 20 minutes. And I read 10 pages of a book. That takes about 40 minutes, 35 to 40 minutes. So in all, between exercise and then my personal care, that's 7 to 9 a.m. Okay. Then from 9 to 11, I deal with my business signals. And then from 11 to 3:30, that'll be a working window. Then 3:30 to 4, that's a late lunch window. 4 to 7:30 is another working window. And it could be anything I'm focused on, whether that's me focusing on studying my music, my sheet music, or be building my business, right? And then you also want to include activities. Some of you guys have children. Some of you guys are part of programs and organizations and clubs and businesses. And you want to make sure you work that into your schedule. So today I worked out all of the next 30 days. I know what I'm doing November 15th. I know what I'm doing November 18th. I wrote out the next 30 days. Now, if anything else plays out, I'll just add it to my calendar. What you don't want to do is allow things to spontaneously just jeopardize your schedule. Yo, let's meet up. Let's go hang out. I can't do that. At 4:30, I'm supposed to be doing this right now. My alarm is going off for me to do this. You got to give me a week or 2 heads up. I give you 3 days. Depends on how I feel. But if you're very serious about where you want to go, you'll start allocating your time correctly, ladies and gentlemen. Concentration, concentration, concentration. All right. So every single day, so writing in my book, reading my Bible, all that stuff is subconscious now, right? I don't have to make myself write in my journal. I have to make myself read a book. I actually just do that subconsciously. If I wake up late, that's the only time I don't do my journal. Why did I go to bed late? What happened? Why didn't you go to bed on time, B? What are you doing? Right? So making sure you go to bed, make sure you staying on those schedules, guys, so you can get things done, because we know the power of progression. All right. Again, more benefits, controlling your thoughts, the ability to focus your mind. You have a peace of mind, freedom and freedom of mindlessly and things that are not valuable to you. Annoying thoughts, right? Annoying conversations. I actually limit how long I speak to people, because somebody can call me, hey, B, what you doing? And if I haven't spoken to you in a while, well, my calendar tells me right now I'm supposed to be focusing on studying or something. I'm supposed to be focusing on learning some information. I can't respond to you yet. I can't respond to you until 3:30. Do not feel inclined to respond and communicate with people right away. You got to stick to the task at hand. My best friend hit me up all the time, and I'll wait to a certain time stamp that said, okay, now I can talk to you. If it's an emergency, I can't talk right now because I have a task at hand. You cannot feel so obligated to respond to people every single time they reach out to you, every single time your text messages and alerts go off. I don't have any notifications on ever. I got to go in and actually see notifications. All right. So you got to be careful of what you're allowing to bring to pull you to take your concentration. What are you aware of? That's the whole main thing. What is managing my awareness? How am I managing my awareness? What am I allowing myself to pay attention to? Right? You can get phone calls and text messages all the time. That's cool. If it's not an emergency, I can't talk yet. I can't talk right now. Right? Waking up, first thing people do is check their social media, and then from there you go straight into a rabbit hole. All right. When I go on social media, I'm just doing two things. I'm going there to go laugh or learn. That's it. I love people, and I love make sure people are good. And if I want to check on you, I'm gonna send you a text message. You got to make sure that you are aware of where your attention is going. That's what people don't understand. So, two things. Remember, how do you gain concentration? You have to learn how your mind works, and you got to practice concentration. How does my mind work? I told you the conscious mind versus the subconscious mind. There is no distractions. It's only what you're giving attention to. Okay. If it's important to you, you'll pay attention to it. If it's important to you, you'll schedule out. What are you doing tomorrow at 7 a.m., 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? And also when you're creating your schedule, make sure you make a time where you say, you know what, let me follow up with all my friends from 4 to 5 or 6 to 7. This is this window where I speak to my friends and my family. You can't just be at random. Your life can't continuously be at random. Now, you can leave windows for spontaneity in there. You can say, you know what, I'm not going to make a schedule from 5 to 6. I'm not going to do anything on my schedule from 6 to 7. You can just leave certain hours open, but make sure you are aware of your time. People always ask me, when you was learning how to trade, what time was you learning? I was very obsessive. I still look back and be like, I can't believe I even put that much time in. But I worked a 9 to 5 back then, y'all, right? I used to work 60, 70 hours a week. So I would wake up at 2 a.m. because I had no time during the day. 2 to 6 a.m. was the time I gave myself to learn how to trade. And I would take a 40-minute nap from 6 to 6:40, get back up at 6:40 to work and do the rest. Learning how to play the drums. That just came from me going to church and just watching and just been practicing. At the end of the day, it's always going to be boiled down to your practice. I don't care how many times you teach somebody, whatever your gift and whatever your skill, your talent is, you want to teach people. It ain't going to be you just teaching. They got to go home and you got to go home and practice. My instructor taught me the scales of music. Okay, cool. I got to read the scales. I got to practice the keyboard. I got to put my hands in motion, right? You can't, that's where concentration also creates initiative. Desire actually creates initiative. The more you're hungry for something, you're not going to keep waiting around for people to give it to you. You're going to get it yourself, right? So that's what sets the greats from everybody else. So practice concentration. So give yourself a task. So have a calendar book. My calendar is in the kitchen. Have a calendar book. Know what you're doing every single day. Know what's coming up for the next 30 days. Okay. And always redo that every 30 days. Always see what's coming forward as much as you can plan. Whether you Sundays for me is church, Mondays. Well, I mean, I'm a entrepreneur, I'm a business owner. So my schedule, I have to maintain my schedule. That stuff can make you lazy when you don't have to go to work for nobody. Right. So Monday, Sundays and Thursdays, I know I'm doing music. All right. I'm playing at, I got rehearsals and then I got church. And then I do mindset, teach on Mondays, Tuesdays, like stuff like that. I know I got to do. All right. If I'm volunteering myself to help out friends or family, hey, what day you need me? Like I know November 15th, I'm watching my nephew on November 15th, right? I got to spend the night and take him to school the next morning. So I know how to plan my day because I got to wake up early and take him to school. So those are things you guys want to be aware of. So whether you guys heard, we got the state exams. Okay, well, if you're working during the day, know what time you're working. Set aside time to study, hour or two. Take a mental break. You don't want to burn yourself out because if you try to force yourself to retain it, then most of the time we don't remember those type of things. You want a new job? Well, get the resume updated. You got to do what you got to do. You just got to sit down and concentrate. And don't fall into this space where you're trying to show people your progression. You don't need validation from people, right? You can, if you want to do it, that's fine, but don't allow validation to be the reason. Don't allow validation to be what gives you confidence. Your confidence should come first from knowing that God supplies all your needs and he's going to be there to create it. But you can show your progression so other people can believe through you, but don't be boastful. Don't be, don't come from a place of lack. If I post something, if I splash something cool, this is what I got going on. but you got to make this stuff happen for you. And then once you get it and you want to say, hey, y'all, hey, I passed the exam. We edify you, Jess. We give you the glory. We give you that praise, right? You get that new job, right? You don't have to post that you updated your resume. You don't have to do all that. Just do what you got to do. And when it's done, get it done, right? But don't allow needing a like or a comment to be what makes you feel like you have self-worth. Okay, I think that's what I was trying to get at. Don't make a like and comment make you feel like that. That's what makes you feel like you got self-worth. If your love, I mean, I'm always talking about God because I have a strong relationship with God. If your love and your relationship with God is not sufficient, I don't know what's going to help you. All right. Outside, that's what I know. That's what makes me feel. That's why I have so much contentment, because God is everything to me. Right. So you have to make sure that when you're concentrating on these tasks, family, know where you want to go and have a clear mental picture. All right. I've been working on my mental picture. I started working on it last week. And I said, I gotta have a new clear mental picture about where I want to go, because where I live now, the things that I have in my home and the things I have now used to be my goals. I have screenshots. I create a screenshot folder. I mean, a gallery in my phones, and it say 2022, March 22 goals, or February 2021 goals. Like I keep a gallery of goals and I look through and I'm like, man, I did all my goals already. So now it's time to create a new mental picture. What do I want? I want a new house. I want a house built, 5,000 to 10,000 square foot house. Well, how do I do that? I want to have my 7-figure trading account. How do I do that? You got to have a clear mental picture, guys. How many rooms? What the house look like? I know the developer in the house and everything. Clear mental picture. I'm struggling with, outside of that, it's like, okay, I don't know. I'm getting things done. So you gotta be a person when you get things done and like, okay, well, what's next for me? Okay. So always be curious about what's next for you, because that means you're seeking a richer and a fuller life, and things are happening for you. And I pray that you guys concentrate and you focus and you get it done, because every single thing that you desire is yours. All right. But concentrate. Y'all drop, I know concentration is a long word. Y'all drop focus in the chat box. We got to focus. All right. So focus up, focus up, focus up. All right. And I make sure the definition is focus, focus, focus. A lot of times you don't need to hear a sermon or read a scripture or hear testimony. A lot of times you just got to concentrate. Do y'all agree? I think sometimes we're looking for motivation. We're looking for inspiration. But you just need to concentrate. Just sit down and get it done, right? Yeah, there's no such thing as a distraction. It's no such thing as what you give your attention to. All right, so focus actually means the center of interest or activity, okay? Concentration, all right, concentration. So it's focus means the center of this. That's what what you give attention to, all right? And then concentration is the action or the power of focus. So concentration, matter of fact, we got to stay on top of concentration. All right. Concentration is the action and the power of focusing your attention and your mental effort. But focusing is the object. It's the center of interest. Okay. Another thing is, what was I going to say? Okay. Yeah. Concentration. I just had a brain fart. Concentration of what it is. Okay. I hope y'all got some value tonight. Remember, it's not always listening to audios, emotional motivational tapes and reading scriptures and stuff like that. You use that to stay grounded and allow it to live within you. But at the end of the day, it all boils down to your consistency and concentration. All right. It's all about what you're doing when we don't see you. That's really what it boils down to. Okay. So make it happen. I pray whatever your 3, 6, 9, 12-month goal, it doesn't even have to have a time period on it, guys. Just concentrate on it and get it done until it happens. Sometimes we can underestimate how much time is required of us to get certain things done. And you can't be measuring inconsistency. Okay. I hear people say, I've been doing this for some time. I've been studying this for this. I've been learning this, but you haven't consistently been locked in on the same thing over and over again. Well, I've been studying music, or I've been learning how to learn music. I've been learning how to become a chef. Okay. Well, you bought a book in August, in January, and then you didn't pick up the book again until April. All right. Then you didn't pick up the book again until August. That's not a year. That's 1 or 2 months here and there. That's inconsistent concentration. Does that make sense, guys? You can't measure inconsistency. Whew, that's good. That's gonna be the next call. You cannot measure inconsistency. It doesn't have any value. Once you stop, you start over. All right. You cannot measure inconsistency. Once you stop, you start it over. So every time you stop, There is no rolling over of time you studied. When you stop, you start it over. All right. So you got to concentrate. You got to get it done. How many of y'all tired of starting over? Drop some ones. Let me put some ones in here for myself. How many of y'all tired of starting over? Right? You ain't got to tell us what it is, but drop some ones if you tired of starting over. All right. We're going to get it done. If you start over, at least you ain't quit. That's key. At least you ain't quit yet. But at some point, we got to go from starting over. We got to just stay with it until it becomes subconscious. Okay. So I pray the best. I pray for the most. I pray for your relationship, and I pray for your concentration, because with enough consistency and concentration behind any and everything, it will come to you. All right. That's been my time on tonight, family. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Y'all go to the GW chat and just drop concentration. We can't be lazy. Let's drop the hashtag. The word is concentration tonight. All right. I'm gonna start it off. Unless somebody beat me to it. Concentration. Plan your day. All right. No room for spontaneity. I mean, you can plan it, put an hour in there for spontaneity, but don't allow things to pull you away. Put your phone in the bedroom, put your phone in the desk drawer, whatever is causing you, whatever you are giving your awareness to. Remember, ain't no distractions. Whatever you are giving your awareness to, remember, awareness. When you ain't breathing, you are aware you're not breathing. You got to have that same level of mental capacity when it comes to your goals. I am aware I'm not studying. I am aware I am not focused. I am aware I'm not giving this concentration. So when you're aware of that, you got to switch gears. Oh man, I haven't focused. Okay, let me sit my butt down and concentrate. Your awareness, all right, is what you're going to attract. All right, your awareness, what you're giving awareness to, concentration to, that's what you're going to attract. Okay, guys. So I'm going to stop the recording right quick.